Here we go, 4 rounds to come, 106 World Championship Grand Prix to take place. They love seeing the cars around this brilliant track. Change, great corners, plenty of overtaking, opportunity up the main straight and towards turn 1. Tyres Grand Prix last season, but Pirelli have decided to go back. The only practice session this weekend, because it is in the commentary box looking over the main straight. We can see some marshal. I'm not quite sure, but Karun, we've got cars around this circuit is always worth waiting for.
It is this real amphitheatre feel as well, Crofty. It's quite a... You really feel like they're on top of the...
Right opposite the Alpine garage. Crazy already because they've seen sight of their hero and they know.
Yes, they have been going, showing their appreciation Formula One after deputising, coming in to replace, of course, perfect tip-top condition for the only cars we're actually doing. But I'm sure they will get their act together. But can I just give you a little Felipe Massa, 27, of course, his last Gabriel Bortoleto comes anywhere to the front of the South. Their passion for Gabriel Bortoleto. Car number 4, Vettel, of course, this weekend in the weekend. No, even though you can't see the special Brazilian.
Gabriel Bortoleto with his tribute helmet and Lewis Hamilton. Bortoleto, not just a Brazilian driver. In Formula One World Championship history.
I'm good. I was walking up to this comms box and seeing...
I do like coming here, Crofty, because you talk Gianno Berti, Rubens Barrichello.
Piquet Jr.
That's a Piquet Jr. That's what...
To all the Brazilian fans yourself. Today, by the way, while we're talking Brazilian drivers, today 3.
Seems fitting, doesn't it?
Yes, and I'm not quite sure why. You might just any old car. It's Kimi Antonelli, pilgrimage, and it's something we have all done and remember. I love the fact that Kimi Antonelli...
As a young driver goes, you don't really get that. Yeah, a little bit of clarity in his mind coming into the last 4.
In the last 4 race weekends, talking of an point less than Oscar Piastri has scored in that time. Max Verstappen will throw George Russell in as well. Every single person seems to be asking me at the moment.
Flopper on the planet. But taking the championship lead. B, and C, he's coming in with a wave of confidence. The confidence is all of them.
Yeah.
And that's not happened, right? If you change in that Inter-McLaren battle. And
I think the scary thing for him was in Mexico, where you're like, okay, I made a mistake in X corner, and great performances earlier this season, which I think if he
compared to Lando on low grip circuits, do you subscribe?
I think it's a theory, right? I think it's very hard just sliding around all over the place, and he dominated there earlier. Speculate on that, which they have done, and we hope that was a theory coming from McLaren, but it's just they've got theories and ideas of issue. This was the car problem, this was the driver problem, this you need to know when you're slow.
Exactly, and I think coming up with your instincts, know that you're going to get the most out of it. Is
shiny tyres that went on about 100. Yeah.
In just the last, it can always happen at a bigger issue for everyone.
Which Aaron, who have said quite frequently this year.
Yes, and gusts of wind are the worst. Okay, there are cars that are more susceptible and sensitive to sort of be able to get the most out of him. We saw that a bit more, driving at hungry for one. Have fallen foul of...
Is going for a lap here. He first came here in his F3 stock car racing as well here, but look, this...
Weaving around.
So he's backing out, right?
And he's backed out. Were you saying he's raced around into...
...and co that particular day? It was...
Because you do see a lot of the former Formula finish 6th in a race like that with not much stock car.
Max Verstappen. Fascinating run. But Max Verstappen saying that he went out to start on mediums, mate. You went on the side.
It was extraordinary, wasn't it? But actually, in the paddock, they do their sim racing together. That happens to be the case, I'm sure.
So what's the Sauber pre-race briefing now? How it now works?
Wow.
Phone a friend. Who wants?
But here is Bortoleto on his actual McLaren of Oscar Piastri at the top of them. As I say, there's all these theories around what happened in the last...
That was
turn 4
as well.
And the right.
Chance now with a DRS. Largo put on the brakes and hope that he's lucky that was damage.
He just bottomed out, didn't he?
On the outside. Surprised if there isn't some suspension damage or something.
At the corner, to be honest.
And for Yuki to drop it on, to dial yourself into this track. And it's not an easy track. It's there's lots of civil width and check the right, for example.
It looks a little bit more raised, a bit trickier. So shunt in this early in the session is going to be very.
Verstappen goes second fastest, 10th behind George Russell. So thank you to.
Finally down on the back straight. They came down this pit lane very sedately here, doing 100 miles an hour. the Williams livery is just how quick from the get-go, all on the hard compound tyre at 10% speed to cool. Seems as if they're really heating the tyres up. Norris come through, got a little bit untidy as Piastri goes through now side of the corner to get out of the way where there's any dry running. But the hill there under pressure, and the Lando, and then he's been neat and tidy ever.
Thanks ever so much. Martin back with on board with him now, has gone quickest over. Piastri did end up as the fastest.
Needed, because this is really good to see. And from the very first run, on the very first set of tyres, already here, Oscar spun off, but Max from Piastri. And let's not forget, Crofty, we have the one on pole, and actually was the sprint race. So he's got good.
In Austria this year as well. It was Austria and Mexico were the two on this. Have a lion on a Friday. Well, worthy of a discussion. Very interesting. Very different things, he said.
Yeah, because look, like Russell's just gone. Reminded me, George is good around here.
For a race in any format in the sprint.
In the sprint, yeah. Well, how's he feeling coming into this weekend?
Realistic, but yeah, I think this is a track he knows. Relying on last year and previous years to this year, sort of tail end of the season, there are so very fine details that make the difference, and especially on a weekend, who's going to have an advantage and a lasting advantage.
Honestly,
Ollie Behrman, and the thing there is, you've got one getaway.
Yeah, and ultimately the one on the. How many times have we used the don't
as fast as you can? No need to admire this. McLaren and Red Bull, Mercedes improving, Ferrari improving. Pierre Gasly saying yes, we are competitive this year, but I see a lot of excitement late because they were lagging very much behind. There's no difference between the two cars, and Ted's down in the pit.
Massive lull that Red Bull had and that they came back from. Today is not the day.
Today's not the day.
No, let me had his car worked on the rear suspension, Tsunoda, and it remains to be seen. He take off the front tyres and cool down. That looks like he's managed to keep his later on in the day.
And this at a track where it looks at me, they're going, how the heck did you?
Is the top speeds on
into the pit entry, and
yes,
they've got quite a bit of speed going. Then you have to jump on the anchors. As I took Jamie on the track yesterday, I said to her, get on board here.
From Jun Sounds, the Portuguese name says correctly as 11-1 for him and his Mercedes.
High downforce do tend to get well, but it has worked in the past for other drivers.
Yeah. That higher downforce through this sector, he was much better.
Philosophy going into the races seems to be generally it's a lot better on the tyres. Generally speaking, if you can get away with it, and
if you think you're going for pole, maybe like Isaac Hadjar, he's gonna have to do some overgo.
Test blind or what? What was
up behind him? This is Oscar's teammate Formation lap.
Yeah,
years ago.
He charged wider than he would like, I think. Really hard because the car just bottoms out.
Can we talk tyres? Is his tyre chat?
Feel free. No, I mean just Yuki Tsunoda. Remember him? Are they starting to get that car qualifying later on today? Swing and only 4 laps when.
Thank you, Ted. Tyre last year, it was one step softer than that, but Pirelli have still gone back to the harder, a bit more durable. Would anyone in this when we're trying to promote a two-stop strategy?
I asked 3 engineers from 3 applied with similar answers around it's like, yeah, no idea.
Not sure on the logic if it have difficult conditions and some rain and that kind of is not there. That's I think where it could be.
Max Verstappen, Martin Brundle.
And as they all have. I mean, this is minimum speed, just under a 100 braking zone, actually. Never looks like they're still downshifting as they head towards the apex of the place to see just how gritters have through what is a 90. A great atmosphere down here. Stamping, literally stamping for Gabriel Bortoletto here for anybody so far, as officially. So, He's Argentinian flags up there as well. Drivers coming in to this turn. A Jow free card on the outside of the course. Find your limits. This is the one and only session 2 or 3 meters earlier. Have you flat out? Endless racetrack through the exit of 4 before.
Yuki Tsunoda is out on track. Yes, again, 25 minutes to go. Give it another 10 minutes. Interlagos, hard tyre running. Yuki Tsunoda went off early and had his accident. Meanwhile, as he came back on, there's Max Verstappen not about to. Stewards have decided no further stewarding decisions. Mexico and Lewis said on their decisions, which I tell you what, we'll talk about that in a couple of Becky's. He is the team boss, and we are very glad of you.
Good here.
Excellent. Right, damage to you.
You never want to start the session like that. These things happen. Seen, you know, we've lost quite a bit of track time.
But we've also seen Max have trouble at that.
I'd like to think that the sessions, sometimes you're on the right side of the...
Just looking at what everyone's been doing so far, we can't understand in the commentary box why Pirelli have made the race it seem better. Do you understand?
I mean, you're right in saying that, you know, less degradation than last year, no? And they're a bit more resilient. I think last year you also had quite a few for everyone, so...
One is out. How representative do you think this session?
Treat it as potentially there is a risk for this afternoon for the sprint qualifying. Very strong rain and potentially very strong wind for the weekends, but you know how it is here. It's
Starts doesn't blow in from Laurent, thank you. He says risk, we say excitement. Great possibility of, because we kind of, to their credit, the FIA explaining exactly why they may send the stewards are basing these decisions on. The stewards. Is that what Lewis is getting at? Should we know why the race director didn't start?
Penalised. Others weren't penalised for turn one because a load of people done either way, but I think he had already out, so I think it's kind of okay in my... See the videos and, you know, look back through the stewards, but they have that luxury, right, of being able to look at...
He's the police.
Yeah.
The stewards are the judiciary stewards to do what they do.
And I think they can pass from... I think the driving this morning, but as a driver, you look at a guide equally from our point of view and spectators, there's ultimately not everyone's going to agree, but if most people sort of allows for common sense and from a racing driver...
A live document that will keep evolving, and with moment, Verstappen is the master. He absolutely dive-bombed Lewis end up outside. But the point is, should we say, the turn in to the apex of the outside, as long as you've got your nose, you can... So we've kind of got into this position where actually racing for in a various things now we've seen from the drivers on that.
Can also say as well, the guidelines say, but it is the drivers who wanted just for a long while to come. 1:11.0. So is this saving softs with 3 and SQ2? Well, it's going to be because that
Crofty just practiced for SQ1. That was a crucial lap for Alex Albon because that's moved Albon up somewhat. Necken is actually, compared to Emmons, looked quite happy. I think he might have had some okay so far, even if at the start of the weekend another 4th here. But well, you never know how the...
And Yuki Tsunoda of an issue, and this time Liam Lawson thinking that science has gone fastest from Esteban. Thing for me is that Russell is number 3 in that train to Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
And also complaining about grabbing races. Carlos has found a huge... So he needs a good weekend this weekend to bounce back. Frustrating. I think they had a great opportunity to do something, to be able to bounce back this weekend, but...
His McLaren car has gone fastest. Our start time, 5 o'clock as well. Sprint qualifying to come. Lake Street is going to be right in the mix. This is a decent...
Coming up to the middle sector and is a little bit weekend to rebuild that confidence. The medium, he is competitive, which we did not...
Yeah, which was also a sprint weekend here by just under 3/10 from Sainz, a lot 6th fastest down at South. On pole for the Brazilian in Formula 1. It is well worth... How time flies.
I know, wouldn't have been quite so flattering, but...
The tyre selection, absolutely right in quality. Grand Prix in his career, 2 of which have been at Interlagos.
But he was so fast. He's very good around this track, and that's good for Bortoletti, and that'll pull him along. So, yeah, so far this is their medium time run. So, Hadjar.
It is also 15 years ago today, 2010.
Is it?
Did you? Has that come as a surprise?
Yeah,
I shall leave you two to talk.
No, I'm just... We were talking about the importance of drivers versus... Never been here.
No?
Not done on this track.
Fernando Alonso has been here. More podiums here. Never won there.
Sealed 2 of his champions, 07 and 2020.
Yes, I remember those years. He gets to the line.
Maybe the sound just dropped out a bit.
Sounded like he had, because he might have come in boxed and gone back in.
9.8, so we'll see what this does for final sector of the lap, but on the whole, still...
Piastri, you get the radio message afterwards, you get...
Both on the soft tyre. Red Bull, the only...
They're not opposed to doing things differently. You have to say, broadly, if you look more than most teams, I do think they get it.
That's why they feel they're going to have to go with a soft.
On Max just on a feeling and getting him
for a familiar feeling in SQ3 and then come up.
Who was that in front of him? Lawson. I don't know, was he just... Yeah, he's backed out of it.
Slight mechanical change, go back and do sort of an outlap or so. Try something he's clearly not happy to get medium.
That's 2 sets back at the end of this session. Normally it's 2 sets. Not sure actually the answer to that is Lewis Hamilton.
Isn't it? Red Bull basically have banked a set of medium days in advance, right? Sets of mediums, maybe it's a 2-stop race.
Race maybe as well.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, rain all day tomorrow, then you're going to need, they're just thinking they need to bank a few sets.
Speak about the tyre choice.
Tsunoda hadn't been on the softs a long time.
You know, Red Bull actually put out these little team decisions there to do it. Now Piastri dropping time in the middle sector of the lap. The screen, he's in the middle part of the lap now.
Now clear, maybe he had a little off. For the personal best for the first sector was been actually in the middle sector on this lap. But crosses the line, can't go faster than. So Piastri bouncing back and feeling very much happy with that. 2/10 off his teammate through the first 2. The 2 McLaren separated by 20 to sprint qualifying. Have some of that.
And there's the qualifying later.
It's a caveat for this entire session. He's not put
to run a second set of tyres in that session, so saving 2 sets of tyres as well, which is going to.
Red Bulls, they've banked the mediums, which is crucial. Early enough, if they need it for dry qualifying tomorrow.
Rain is coming in. I don't think you can accurately. Look, it's going to be dry, so we'll now. You two have been down on the grid since last year and ahead of the start.
In fact, they've put these grooves in and they